Welcome back to the Flaherty Solutions Podcast. My name is Kevin Flaherty.
I'm Erin Flaherty.
And today we are talking about proper communication.
Good conversation.
Good conversation.
Yeah, which is different. It's similar but different than communication, don't you think?
Yeah, I mix those words up.
So you are probably, let me venture to say, the best conversationalist ever.
Oh, I thank you very much.
People love talking to you. I mean, I love talking to you, but I know at parties, people love talking to you.
You're going to make me blush. You're going to make me blush on camera, girl.
I don't know if I'll be able to see it through your cute beard.
Ooh.
So, at a party, so Kevin wanted to know when I brought the idea for this topic, what the business connection is. And let me just say it. Right now, conversation in business is it's almost all we have.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have meetings anymore. So when you're communicating with someone in business, you either have a phone call, you have an email, you have a Zoom call. There's no more in-person. It's getting back to that, but we have fewer handshakes. We have fewer around the table meetings where you can actually see someone's body language. So now conversation is a lot of what we have. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Right. No, I think you're right. But like you said, it's always the way I've operated. So it's hard for me to think of it anywhere different. I do have thoughts, and we'll jump into those on, all the things around, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And I think that's who our target audience we're trying to talk to is the entrepreneur. For us, we're so entrepreneurial, we're always talking shop. And when we hang out with some neighbors sometimes that have a more traditional 9-to-5, sometimes they're like, can't we just talk about golf or fishing? And it's like... But you
have started business relationships through personal engagements, whether that's golfing or that's how people want to do business with you. They feel comfortable. People do business with people who they know, like, and trust. So knowing, liking, and trusting isn't always just sitting around talking shop.
Yeah.
You are really good at engaging people in conversation. And you've talked to me about this. When you are talking to someone, what do you do to make people feel comfortable? I mean, you've talked about this.
All right, yeah, and we've talked about this, I believe, early on in the podcast.
On the podcast?
Maybe, I don't know. For our listeners out there, go back and listen again.
And tell us what episode we talked about this, if we did. But I think it's valuable, and valuable information is worth repeating.
And yes, I don't want to say so. I've been missing Toastmasters. I don't want to say so. When you want to make someone feel comfortable and get to know them right away, maybe not right away, but to ice break. I hate using that term because you want it to be more natural. You don't want to think of it that way. But ask somebody where they grew up. Don't say, where are you from? Everybody's from somewhere, but you grow up in a certain place, right? If you are from Pennsylvania from 0 to 6 when you're little, you might answer, well, I'm from Pennsylvania. But if you say,
that's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. Where'd you grow up? Somebody might be like, I spent 2 years in Pennsylvania with my best friends. Like I was 10 to 12, and that's where I grew up. Those are those fond memories. When you open up that question, where did you grow up? People, even if they're the worst, worst.
That's a new word.
The worst childhood. They've morphed it in their brains to be like, I'm glad I got beaten up at the park. It made me tough and who I am today. That's psychology, folks. People tend to shift their thinking into my life is better now because I had it so great when I was younger, or my life is better now because I had it so rough. And that's part of growing up.
You also have a lot of patience for stories like that. It's one of those things where you and I would say most people would say that you and I do conversation well, but we have different styles.
Yes.
You are really into the growing up stories. Mm-hmm. I'm really into let's build rapport quickly and then let's do what we're doing together.
Yes.
So whether it's and I would say both of us are effective in that. Mm-hmm. So when I talk to someone, I'm going to quickly build rapport and then like boom, what are we accomplishing? And so I'd say maybe one of my best traits is that I am efficient and we're not going to waste time.
Yeah.
And people really love talking to you, and they love telling you the growing up story, and they might love talking to me too, but it's just different. So both are our conversation
Yeah.
styles, but so you bring up a good point. So the reason I wanted to talk about good conversation is because I was talking to my best friend about bad conversation. I was talking to you about bad conversation, because a bad conversation, I mean, there's so many examples of bad conversation, but one is, like you said, like sort of the dead end. Where are you from? Well, if someone doesn't know that you're trying to actually have a conversation and they just say PA and then they stop,
Yeah.
that's not a conversation.
Have you realized how rude I'm starting to get now that I'm getting older with some of the remarks I make?
No, but I love it. Why? What happened?
Just like, somebody introduced us to somebody, and they were from a certain school. And,
that was great.
And I just couldn't help myself. I was like, oh, you went there before it was super pretentious.
Well, because the person said that the school has really changed now. And you were like, oh, you went before it was so stuck up or something. And what was ironic about it is the person didn't even notice. So it was kind of like...
Well, or maybe you were there.
So I was like, and I caught it. But I think, well, and you just brought up another point. Like, we're dissecting good conversation. It's so natural to you that you don't even dissect it sometimes. It's like not listening is maybe one of the worst conversation. Like, if you're not actually... and lack of awareness might be my biggest pet peeve about people in general. So
got a lot of that going on in Maryland.
Right. Yeah, we were just talking about, we're in Maryland and we're not sure if it's a Maryland thing. I'm Maryland born and raised. Kevin is from New Jersey.
Yeah,
I've always had great I've worked with people from New Jersey and New York from my early 20s. I've always gotten along really well with people from New Jersey. I feel like, and is it mainly Northern New Jersey that are better conversationalists, or yours? I mean, I know North and South kind of have a rivalry, but would you say Northern New Jersey people have better conversation skills?
Because Southern Jersey, certain parts of South Jersey are very similar to the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and not Annapolis, but conversationally very similar. So, two sidebars to that. Right before I met Aaron, I'd been in Maryland for, I don't know, a year maybe, not quite. It had to be. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting ready to move back to New Jersey just because people didn't connect with me.
People or girls? Because I know you were trying to settle down.
Both. And that kind of brings me to point two. In New Jersey, when you watch those mafia movies and they have the scene where somebody goes to a house party, like you're a young person, you're going to a house party. In New Jersey, this isn't everywhere, but all the parties I went to, this is how they were like in the mafia movies, except for them actually being in the mafia. Well, not all of them, but most of them. They would grab you, like normally if it was your buddy and his wife or girlfriend, oh, honey, this is Kevin. Introduce him to everybody. She would take your arm or hand and walk you around that party in New Jersey.
So you knew people.
Hey, this is my cousin. This is my aunt. This is my friend I went to second grade with. And they introduced you to the whole party. It wasn't just like, hey, this is Kevin. Hey, everybody. They took you around, and that was magnificent. And then before I met you here in Maryland, I'd go to parties. You'd go, and you'd say hi to the host, and the host would be like, hey, what's up? And then, like...
Go back to hosting. Yeah. And you couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, and you were just
like... You were like the awkward new guy.
And then you'd meet people, and they'd be like, oh, what high school did you go to? I was like, Seton Hall Prep in New Jersey. And they'd be like, oh, you didn't go to South River? Oh, I thought you were like class of 2000 with me.
You're like, no, because not everybody's from here.
And I was just like,
so
yikes.
I don't know. So Kevin and I have this new epiphany. It's like, are Marylanders just not always great at conversation? I don't know, because I was born and raised here. I've always gotten along well with most people from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And my best friend is from England. And then I was also pointing out someone else. Andrew, I know you're watching because you said that you watch our video. Andrew is also from England and also is a very good conversationalist. Yeah. And so Tori said I would have gotten along well with people in England. You're Irish, so that wouldn't fly. But what I feel is missing is I am very inquisitive. And so when I'm talking to somebody, I want to know all about them. But also, I don't just want to collect information about the person I am talking to. I would like to know that if we're investing a little bit of time together, that they want to know maybe one or two things about me too. It doesn't have to be even Steven.
No.
It's just about square. You get my reference? Uma Thurman.
Yes.
Yeah, even Steven I think is Kill Bill.
It's Kill Bill 1. Right after Vanessa.
Even Steven.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox.
No, and then in the next one, she's like, maybe just about square. Which was a Pulp Fiction. Anyway, tangent. But I would like to know if I'm asking someone 10 questions and they're answering. This isn't a Barbara Walters interview. This is a conversation, and maybe, just maybe, you want to know one or two things about me. If not, why did I just waste my time?
So how many conversations would you say you have like that on a weekly basis?
I mean, in normal times, I mean, right now, like we're hanging out with the neighbors. Mm-hmm. We're hanging out with friends. I mean, at least 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like social. Do you feel that way too? Like that you ask questions and people don't ask them back?
And I'm also starting to wonder, is it more that we become so like introverted? I don't know if that's a right word, but technology driven by our phones, that we're used to getting everything we want by scrolling. So are people just becoming worse conversationalists?
I don't know. I just feel like I said this to Tori yesterday.
The picture that we hate Marylanders. And that's not the case, and I'm not going to apologize either, because I want somebody from Maryland to come up to me and be like, so you don't like my conversation?
No, we don't. We probably don't.
Because I'm thinking of a few that I really do enjoy, but...
That's fine. You know what? And if you stand by your conversation skills and you think you're dishing it out just like you're getting it, go. Then we probably don't have a problem. But I mean, do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're asking all the questions sometimes?
Yes, but to a degree, that's not their fault. I have a default when people interview me or start to ask me questions. It's my job to learn everything it is about them for what I do. So I've flipped the switch on people so many times that they end the conversation. They're like, wow, I thought I was going to get to know you, and you've really gotten to know me.
Right. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be even. But
they understood, like, that they noticed that. There are people that don't even notice it. And, and I didn't. And I didn't.
Lack of awareness.
I didn't intentionally flip the switch. That was like a Saturday afternoon. I'm just walking around the neighborhood and we get into a conversation. What school did you go to?
Right. Yeah. Anyway. Well, and the other thing about conversation. So I've been following a lot of people. Are we okay?
We're fine.
Keep looking.
I'm just curious.
Oh, okay.
My curiosity is going crazy. Where are you from?
You knew where I'm from. I'm from Columbia, Maryland. I'm from Maryland. But another thing with lack of awareness is that I've noticed that without asking questions about people, you start assuming. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this. Like, do they not ask questions because they don't care or they think they know? You know what I'm saying? Or a little bit of both. Like, oh, you're on a podcast, I know all about you. Maybe you don't.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
they think they know.
Yeah. So
they don't ask. But I've been following a lot of people online about this. Like, I have a lot of online mentors. I always have. And we, as Americans, struggle with connection. Mm-hmm. We struggle with true connection, there's pain and struggle with it. There's like, everybody has pain and struggle in their past, but our culture is so like, can't have pain and struggle, gotta be happy.
Yeah.
Gotta be grateful. And we've talked about gratitude, I'm all about it. Gotta be happy. So we aren't really good at sitting in pain with people. So if someone, let's talk about something really wrong. You look like you're about to bust out laughing. I can't wait to see what you're thinking. Let me finish this though. Let's talk about something really painful, like losing a baby. Okay? Yeah, you're like, why did you just go? See, you can't even sit with it. You can't sit with it.
Oh, now you just made me laugh about that topic.
You even. So, but what our culture is taught to do is like everything happens for a reason, or you know, God builds the back to fit the load, or you know, it like basically brush it off, because that makes the, like, if someone loses a baby and they come to me, my tendency as an American might be like, I can't feel uncomfortable about that, so I'm gonna say something to make myself feel better about that and not sit with you in your pain. So that all goes with like conversation and really getting to know people and asking questions and being comfortable, and you know what I mean? So you can't just ask questions, because I've actually learned that some questions aren't appropriate. And I've fallen on my face asking questions before, where I think I'm having a good conversation and I'll ask something sensitive, like, so are y'all planning on having kids? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, we've been infertile for 10 years. Like, you can't ask that anymore. Or even now.
Really? It seems like you're always asking that.
Now? Like in the last few years?
No,
I feel like I learned that along the way, that you don't ask that.
No, not that, but you're definitely good at like, hey, let's have a real conversation. Like,
well, yes, but I'm sensitive to the fact that that's not just an icebreaker anymore. It used to be, and now it's not. And then now I've learned asking about jobs can be sensitive. So I've asked a few neighbors like, hey, are you working from home? And they're like, well, I'm furloughed. So that's like the new like infertility question. Yeah. And I can say, I mean, we've dealt with infertility, so I know how sensitive that is.
I've only had to get rid of one like joking question.
Ooh, what's that?
It was like, wow, what were you, like 16 and pregnant? Because I've had older clients.
I'm like, when would that be an appropriate question?
I've had older clients that were like, yeah, my daughter's 55. And I was like, what?
Oh, and then they're like, yes, I was.
And then they're like, matter of fact, we were. And I was like,
So can you go back to what you were about to bust out laughing, or no? Or is it gone?
Well, totally so gone? You were talking about, God, we're going to look so insensitive in this one. Perfect. It's a real portrayal of ourselves. No, and that 16 and pregnant should not be laughed at. But my clients looked super young. So when they said, they weren't clients, they were friends of clients that I've been palling around with. Anyway, okay, whatever. The happiness. So shooting YouTube, I like to give it real to people. Yeah. But you have to paint the sunny side. On YouTube.
Oh, the sunny side?
The sunny side of it.
Because that's why people want. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that culture of like, you know, people always try to spin the positive. That's everywhere in our lives.
Well, wait, no, but in your YouTube channel, there's no tragedy either. Yeah. And so that doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden talk about like losing babies.
Yeah. I'm just saying, so I was asked to go on a big channel to, COVID just happened, and the big channel was like, I'm going to bring you on and you're going to let me know about the awesome cooks you're doing, create a positive spin. And I started it off like, guys, it's probably going to get worse, but just to keep it positive. And he just like straight up edited out my first, like, it's going to get worse before it gets better, because I'm such a realist, and talking to my clients, I want to hit them with like, this is real, this is what's happening. Right. And be very transparent. And because he was on YouTube, he's like, people don't want to hear that. Then so again, I had to like,
somebody from your YouTube community died, and I watched grown men cry on that live. So it doesn't mean there's not a time and a place for it.
Correct. But on your regular, 99% of your videos, they want like the sunny side of life.
Right.
And I'm trying to portray that more, and not bring any like, if I have a challenge in my video, like, oh, I didn't cook this right, it's like, I didn't cook it right, but God, did I learn some stuff.
Right, like, and I'm like, I'm learning just as much as anybody. I mean, I feel like we're both good conversationalists. That doesn't mean we haven't said something the last week that's insensitive. I mean, we're learning. We're trying to better ourselves. That's why we like online mentors. I might have fallen on my face yesterday and not even known about it. I am terrible about sitting in pain. I'm trying to get better. I'm great about sunny side. I'm trying to just bring up things that hinder good connection and good conversation. Yeah. They're two different things, but they're connected, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, what is the point? I don't know if anybody likes small talk. I'm comfortable with small talk. I can talk to anyone in the grocery store, 6 feet apart. I can talk to anybody, but I don't know if anybody really values small talk and really likes it. Most people don't. So what is the reason for conversation except to build connection.
Yeah.
And connection blockers are, well, if I'm just sitting here interviewing somebody for 20 minutes, that's not a connection. That's me just finding all about one person. I guess they don't really care about me.
Yeah.
Or they don't know how to ask, or they think they know. And then other connection blockers are, you know, not being able to sit in someone's struggle, or someone's not really able to empathize or connect emotionally with people.
Above me.
Really?
I just do a Pastor Tim. He told me, remember Pastor Tim?
Of course I do. I want to know where you're going with this.
He married us.
He did marry
The
us.
first time. We got
Yeah.
married twice. Fun fact for you.
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh,
But he
I couldn't
said-
tell you who married us in the Catholic Church. Like, I couldn't tell you who blessed our marriage in the Catholic Church.
It
Can
wasn't
you?
Father Paul. It was the one over in Crofton. Don't remember. Anyway.
Was it the gay
we're
guy?
boring people to death. Yeah, I think it was the
Okay.
gay priest.
He's awesome.
He said sometimes, because he's in a lot of grieving situations, he's like, for me, sometimes the best thing I can say is nothing at all. And just
Right.
sit with somebody.
Well, yeah.
And I've always taken that news that we saw him, 10, 11 years
Yeah.
ago? And I've always taken that. And so sometimes I take it to the other extreme where I'm not saying something like flip to try to lighten the mood.
No, yeah.
But I'm not saying anything at all. And then it's like,
Don't you
am
care?
am I freaking the person out that I'm insensitive?
No.
So, but
No, I don't think
typically
so.
not say anything.
As long as you're not like. The facial expression goes
Yeah.
a long way, too.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
Not really. I'm
I say we
blanking.
wrap it up. I mean,
Well,
unless you feel
I
like...
do. So from a business standpoint,
Oh.
though, here is kind of a question. So I used to do memory pyramids with people.
Memory what?
Pyramids. Or a palace, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, okay.
Where I'd build a palace of memories. If you were talking to me, I would bump into you 6 months later, and I would pull out, like, how's your cousin's dog?
Right.
And, like, people would be like,
And Parker gets that from you, too.
are you freaking kidding
Yeah.
me? How did you remember that?
Yeah.
And to me, it was like a game, or just, I don't know. I just
yeah.
developed it. And anyway, my business is where I want it to, so I'm not really trying to grow.
Right.
I like working with my clients if I'm
Right.
meeting
You're
a new
having fun.
client. So I don't need to learn as much about new
Right.
people because
It's not a conquest anymore.
they're no longer probably going to become a client. Like, I got my clients. I
Right.
don't know if I want to work with you. So I don't remember as much, but I still pick up clients. And I'm very matter of fact about, like, this is what I do. You want to do business or not?
Right.
Like, that's basically my sales pitch
Right.
at this point. And I'm wondering to the people out there, especially the entrepreneurs, you're very like, hey, this is what I do. Are we doing business or not? How many people out there are still doing like, I'm going to learn everything there is about your business? Or is it...
Is it to the point?
Okay, you have a plumbing business. You need your books done. Like, this is what we do. Or are you still doing the, you got kids. You got, you still learning.
I would take it a step further because in business, I love to learn about people's businesses just because I find it interesting and I am entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
It also has nothing to do as a conquest for me anymore. I'm also good. Like my branch is amazing. It's going to continue to grow
Whether you
anyway
want it to or
because
not.
we offer a great service. I don't need to sell it.
I know, right?
But what's ironic about this podcast is now we're in the information giving stage. Like that information, offering value and giving free information that's valuable is the new advertising.
Yeah.
And that could be its own podcast, which we should keep in mind. So this podcast, for example, I don't ever, ever, ever think who I'm going to land as a client or as a franchisee from this podcast, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
I get inquiries all the time from this podcast. It is free information. So on one hand, I'm putting out information that hopefully somebody can use. And then when they think of bookkeeping, they're just automatically going to think of me.
Yeah.
And they're going to call.
Yeah.
Or if they know someone who wants to buy a franchise that's really good, they're going to call. I don't need to like direct that.
Mm-hmm.
So on the conversation side, if I want to know about someone, it's just because I'm entrepreneurial and it's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a step further than it doesn't just have to be transactional, like, are we working together? It can just be, I'm offering information. I want information because that lady seems really interesting and I want to know what she does.
Yeah.
And I want to know how I can help her. You know, when your business reaches a certain point, all you can focus on is serving. And that's I'm starting to really realize that. That's an amazing feeling.
That's awesome.
To be at a point where, like you said, you don't need to like hustle for the next client.
No.
You're going to get clients because you're you, and you're good at what you do. I'm going to get clients for whatever reason, but when you are set, you can focus on serving, which is giving information. And then when I find out about someone, it's because I really am interested. I don't need to play a game.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember stuff. Like, I've never done the memory palace or memory pyramid thing. I just remember stuff.
So it's hard to explain because it was just second nature.
Right.
I didn't know, but I took it to another level.
You probably had visuals, though, in your head.
And you can take it to, like, I was really good at just remembering.
Yeah.
But then when I found out what a memory palace was, it made it even easier to be, like, freaky.
Are you a visual, like, were there visuals involved? Because I'm an audio learner, so when someone says something, it's like a tape recording in my head. I have perfect pitch, and that's why. Because I have tape recorder. Like, I have pitch pipes and tape recorders, so I can remember the exact inflection. Someone said something, so if they say it, it's there.
I have to convert it to a visual and create the story. So
yeah, there's zero visuals for me.
We'll talk about it. I'll talk to you at the next cocktail party in Maryland about it because that's all we got to talk about. I'll teach you how to do a memory palace.
Well, all the Marylanders will be like boycotting
those
us.
two.
And so we'll be like Romeo and Michelle. We'll just dance with ourselves.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
It was a great movie. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Let us know in the comments what business topics you want us to
this
talk
was
about.
a business topic.
It
I know
was.
you're very guarded about our business podcast, but as I've said many times, people own businesses and people do business. So people topics.
I've picked up clients at weddings, in hot tubs. My next client I'm picking up kind of as a conquest is on an airplane.
Oh my God,
so
I love that because that'd mean that we're going somewhere. That would be great.
So that means conversation is key, not just what you're offering. All right, people, I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you soon.